Hi, everyone. Great to have you with me today. Susan Winter here, and I love seeing all of my wonderful people here, Bea and Gwyneth. Thank you for being my wonderful moderators. I have Gnarly Cat, and there's Jillian, and many of these people in SIA, they're colored with the color code around them, which means that they are YouTube members of this channel, and that means I give them special kisses. Today, I want to talk about that place where your mind knows that you should move on. You know this, but your heart keeps pulling you back. What is that all about? How do we get through that transit? How do we come to the point where we can move forward and make sure that we have left no stone unturned, which is incredibly important in order to keep moving forward? So let's talk about the battle between head and heart. This is ongoing for almost everyone. To be fair, there will be challenges in even the best relationships. So to see a challenge and think, oh, I don't want to deal with this and blow up the bridge is not an effective relationship management for handling conflict or differences of opinion. Part of the relationship beauty is that we're able to merge with another person and learn how to express ourselves, how to love them, how to communicate with them, how to watch ourselves evolve to another level of awareness in the partnership dynamic. It is also to be able to filter who's coming in. For those of you who are dating and you're out there and you're looking around, you may have found somebody that you think, or you want to believe, ticks all of your boxes, and you really like this person, and they're dynamic and charismatic and good looking, but they're not treating you the way you want. But you want to stay in the game. So your heart's like, oh, I want them, I want them, I want them. And your head is telling you, they're not texting me back. They're not responding. I'm the one doing all the work here, and I'm feeling rather insecure. But you want to keep giving it another go. So how do we negotiate between what we think in our mind, in our observation of what's happening, and what we want to do as far as our heart? That's our discussion today. And so much of this involves that conflict that we encounter, whether we're newly dating, newly in a relationship, or in a 10-year marriage. Do I stay or do I go? What is that contingent upon? It should be contingent upon, have the issues that I'm feeling, all the challenges going on here, have they been articulated to my mate? Did I do effective communication? That's on you. And there are lots of resources here, including this channel, to learn all that. And secondarily, when I expressed myself in a measured, clear, concise, diplomatic, and tactful manner, did my partner listen? And did they want to address these issues? Were they looking to get to conflict resolution with me? If you find consistently that you are the one managing the relationship, it will become very clear to you after every twist and turn of how you tried to get it to work. That's when your rational mind will say, you know what? I'm the only one here doing this. I know I should go. But the thing that trips us up is this beautiful and necessary thing that we need for life. It's called hope. We keep hoping. God, I hope they don't disappoint me one more time. I hope they listen to me. I hope they hear me. I hope they'll read this book. I hope they'll go to couples counseling. I hope that they'll be good to me. I hope that they'll text me back. I hope that they'll ask me for a Saturday night date. I hope that they tell me I look beautiful. I hope that they'll treat me nicely. I hope that they will ask me for a commitment. or be committed to me as I've asked them. And hope can be harmful. If you've got a string of hope and no changes, that's when you have to listen to your head. Now, before I go on with this and answer your questions about how to dissect this, let me acknowledge all of you here. First of all, again, many thanks to Bea and Gwyneth. Gwyneth had her birthday. She's a beautiful painter and an artist. I used to love her a lot. One person is saying here, Jillian, I can't watch the, okay, Jillian is in the meeting at work, but she's lurking. That's great. We love having her here. Love relationships are very simple when people are honest. It becomes difficult when they are not being honest and not able to accept reality. Joika, I think that's fantastic. First time I've seen you here, and that is absolutely right on the money. Dear Susan, I wish you were by my side every time I'm in communication with the man I'm interested in. You are a genius and a very wise woman. Katrina, take one of my group courses. We do 4 weeks on communication. They're great, great, great systems. Insia, I wish you would have taken this course. This would have been wonderful for you. Victoria, I think you're the Victoria who's going to come into the January class. Glad to be here. You look beautiful today. Thank you. I wore my aqua. I always look through my wardrobe. I was like, okay, what blouse have I not worn in the last 2 months to try and spice this stuff up? So happy to see you. Thank you, Rahul. Does anybody have a question about where they are in the relationship? And again, thank you to all of my YouTube subscribers. I see you here. I appreciate that so much. If you have a question, you can put it into Super Chat. What's the class pricing? Take a free consultation with me. They're bespoke, and maybe the class isn't what's good for you. You will see this. Go to susanwinter.net. There is free consultation. There's also underneath here, there's a link to click. But this is for people who are serious about doing some incredible work and don't want to be the only one working in their relationship. My November class started. It's small. I don't want more than 15 people. I really want to work with you intensely and pay attention to everyone. My class group are fabulous, mostly a lot of clients and many people that I've never worked with before. Everything from New South Wales and Vietnam, and where else do we have? Myanmar, to New York, San Francisco, Toronto, Vancouver, you name it. So that's the information is underneath here, how to make love work for you. But today's session, I had a gal that wrote me a couple of weeks ago. Did any of you see the video 2 weeks back? They've shut down. What should I do? I actually answered that gal. She wrote an email to request that video. And the minute I saw it, I immediately sent her an email back. Now, there's a lag time from when you see the video and when I get the request. I have them sitting in queue, maybe 15 or 20. So I know that if time is of the essence, I must reply to you immediately. Now, don't think every time you write for a video request, I'm going to answer, but many times if I have a spare moment and something about the way the person is speaking to me, I feel a connection to, I will directly respond. And so for this lady, I let her know that her circumstance that she had held on to and held on to and held on to because it was long distance and because he had done nothing whatsoever to engage her or to try to keep it going when he had numerous opportunities, I suggested that he wasn't sufficiently motivated and that she should move on. And she wrote me back after she saw the video and she said, oh, Susan, thank you. Because now remember, 2 months have passed. She said, I didn't listen to you. That's okay. She said, I'm really sorry. I don't mean to make you upset. I wrote her back, I'm not upset. I'm not. It can take a couple of passes for you to prove it to yourself. And this is my point number 1. When you know that you should move on, when you know that you have enough evidence that you should move on, many of us keep moving the goalpost and give them another shot and another shot. Well, you know, I don't like that. I know they're on Tinder, but they said they'd get off. But if Okay, because we're in a committed relationship, but if I come home and I actually see that they're on the phone with somebody, or I catch them on a date, or a friend takes a photo of them and they're on a date, or if I find somebody else in my bed when I come home with them, then it'll be it. So what happens is we keep moving back. Like, how much more do you need? You've got this, and this. Now, everybody's different. The reason we don't leave so quickly, fear. There's only one reason. When you see enough things that tell you this relationship's not going to work, and you know, here is number 2. You have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have been exceedingly clear about what you want, what your intention is there. And I don't mean yelling, I mean really beautiful communication. What you need to have fixed, and you have told them, and they have not done anything, there is no other recourse. How many times do you need to move the goalpost back? It's just going to be worse and worse and worse. So the gal didn't pull the plug. She needed to go back in for a couple loops, and then she said, I absolutely know. What sets you free? That you've gone through all the paces necessary, all the turns of the wheel. Every time you went back with that, oh, maybe I just didn't give them a chance. Maybe they weren't ready. Well, they were really busy at work. Maybe it was that, well, they did have a new job. Well, their grandfather died. They weren't close to the grandfather, but maybe that was the deal. Or maybe they weren't ready for commitment. We did move kind of fast. It was our first marriage. We were young. Whatever excuse you give them. When you're done with the excuses, you realize that there is no other recourse. It is easier to leave if you don't need to wonder what if. Moving the goalpost of letting them get away with worse and worse behavior is a way of praying to God that you've got a bottom line that can work with them. But every time you amend downward in a relationship, you are doing yourself a disservice, and you are teaching your partner to treat you like less and that you'll take less. The bottom line of that is your self-esteem will be eroded when you finally crawl your way out of that relationship. What kind of position are you going to be in the outer world to try again? You're going to be so exhausted, so doubting yourself, so doubting your worth. You won't be able to magnetize the correct type of partner, because now what you want is somebody to love you and respond to you and be good to you. But meanwhile, you've just taught yourself that you'll accept garbage. So you got to get that out of your system. So there's a lot going on here, right? There's what we hear in our head, and there's what we know we need to do. Again, easier to walk away when we know we have done everything. Now, what if you know you've done everything, you know you should walk away, that hesitation, that point? What is that? That's fear. What is the fear? Find it. Write it out. I'll never meet another one. Oh my God, I'm getting older. There are so few people in my community. What is the fear? Because you're not leaving something that you don't have, and you're not letting yourself even be available for something you could have, because you have a belief, erroneous of course, that there's just cause for you to stay with nothing, because it's a little bit of something is better than nothing, right? That's not correct. These are the things we're trying to get over. Head and heart don't have to be in a battle. We don't want it to be the other way around. We don't want you to be so reactive that you blow up the bridge and close down everybody the minute you see anything you don't like. Those people come to me very late in their dating history. They come to me after years of realizing that they have lost good relationships because they were so terrified of being hurt that they did the preemptive dump right away and got out, blew up the bridge so that they wouldn't have to deal with it. Well, great, they didn't get hurt by this person, but they also didn't have a loving partner. And so that catches up with people too. All we're looking for here is to find a healthy balance between your heart wants to love, that's a beautiful thing. Your mind needs to constantly be in tandem, like two horses pulling of equal strength, like pulling a wagon. right? 2, pulling the same weight to keep it balanced, that you are observant about what you need, that you have the skill set to present that you are mindful that there is a technology to get through to conflict resolution. You're willing to go through those paces with your partner, and you're willing to give them the opportunity to express themselves to you. You must make honesty a hallmark of the relationship. It is more important to be honest than it is how somebody feels about what they're hearing. Because how they feel about what they're hearing, they still have a chance to fix it. How they feel what's happening to them, it's already done. So let me now open up and get to some of you. Hi, Brian. How are you doing? I've been there, Susan. I've been told that I should have left first with my last one. Interesting. Why didn't you? So when we look at this is some pretty good, thank you for this, because this brings up a good point that I'd like to discuss. When you've been told that you should have left earlier, it's really worth 5 minutes, one time, to review why you didn't, and be brutally honest with yourself. I was scared. At least they committed. So hard to meet somebody nowadays. What is it? What was the hook that kept you in a suboptimal relationship where you were probably more uncomfortable than comfortable, more frustrated than at peace, and more anxious than calm and content? So what kept you there? Because when you can figure that thing out, you can flip it. Now you know your weak link. Now you know what's going on, so you won't be caught short again and controlled by that errant thought. Some of this is CBT, not the other. It's cognitive behavioral therapy. We have to, I'm a firm believer of catching those individual thoughts, catching them so we can examine them and see what they are. Let's see what else we have here. Now he knows, he does not, now he knows. Gene P. You can love someone who doesn't love you. True. You just love them with a long-handled spoon. Gene, and thank you for your incredibly generous super chat gift last week. I've not forgotten that. Neither has Nika. She has another new little squeaky toy. In other words, love them from a distance further than the love you have for yourself. Okay, that's beautiful. The most powerful position on the game board, people, what do I say that is? You know, the Susanites, you know the saying, I love you, but I can leave you. Because you can love somebody and leave them. That is a total possibility. We tend to think it's either or, and I understand the world is easier in concrete black and white thinking, but the problem is most of life is in this squishy gray fluid area. Is it charcoal gray or concrete gray, or maybe it's a little bit greenish? I can't tell. This is where most of life occurs. It'd be great if it were this clear, but it's normally not. And when we think we have a solid answer, then we get another piece of information that makes us go, oy. So what we're trying to do is get it to a place where we can love in a healthy way that's good for us and make a determination based on the overall accumulated feeling of how we are with this person. No doubt, there are those of you listening right now who are in this situation. Do I stay? Do I go? How do I get the courage to go? Maybe if I do one more thing, maybe they just need more time, whatever it is. I know you're there, but maybe you need to start thinking about yourself and why you're so fearful about moving forward. Are you absolutely certain that if you move forward, they won't follow you? And I'm not saying don't do it for game. You can only do it because it's real for you. Excuse me. That's the only way it works. Human beings have an incredible faculty for being able to discern the difference between a game and real. When you tell a partner, I love you, but I'm leaving you, because you didn't do this, this, and this. And I've told you this countless times, and I don't want to repeat myself. I do love you, but I can't do this for you. So I'm going to leave you, and I would prefer that we do not have contact for a while. I'm not trying to be a dick. I just need to move forward, and it's best for both of us. And you just stick to that and move forward. If there is any chance that they were lazy, sloppy, took you for granted, they might wake up. They might not. They might go, oh, yeah, okay, maybe you're right. That's the worst thing. But, better that you hear it, right? Okay, let's see. Where is this? I'm having a hard time communicating. Hopefully I'll figure it out. I can't deal with the screaming. Screaming is not communicating. So if somebody's screaming at you, that is so far from communication. So I don't know what you mean by that. If you're screaming at them, you need control. If they're screaming at you and you're not screaming at them, you are in an abusive relationship. They may have learned that from their family of origin. That doesn't mean they get to put it onto you, and it doesn't mean you should ever stay and accept it. That is not communication. Okay? Rahul says, I was stupid enough not to leave an emotionally abusive relationship because I thought it was my job to chase and fix it. Sadly, this was in a time when I wasn't aware of relationship coaching. We didn't have access to this. Do you know, if I'd had this stuff 30 years ago, how different my choices would have been? But to be honest with you, some 20 or 30 years ago, people weren't this weird. So I'm glad that we have it, but we have it because we're addressing a current problem. This title that I have, relationship expert, I didn't choose it. It came from the Today Show in New York City. They gave it to me in the Chiron underneath when they were presenting my book. But I have to tell you, you didn't need to have this. You had therapists, and then there was this new batch of things called life coaches. But you didn't have relationship experts because we didn't need to have people help us try and figure out what people were doing, because people did fairly straightforward movements. They pursued, they got involved, they didn't get involved, they got in and out of relationships, but most people were relationship oriented to some degree, at least construct oriented. So we can't blame ourselves when we didn't have the information. But I do understand that you may not even know what emotional abuse is. It can be so subtle. Sometimes you don't realize psychological abuse or manipulation because you're naive to it. If we've been exposed to it, we can see it. Otherwise, we don't know why we're so upset. We don't know why we're reacting. The question to ask yourself is, am I always reacting to stuff they're doing? Well, either I'm neurotic and like super sensitive and don't know who I am, or they're doing something that really is upsetting and I just didn't know how to process it. So it's important to know the distinction between those. $5. Hi, beautiful. How are you, Natalia? Thank you so much. The only relationship I had a hard time leaving was due to trauma bonding. Yeah, that's a very primary wound where you connect deeply because you understand something about each other. If it is a choice between loving yourself and loving them, leave. Correct. And if you keep choosing them over yourself, whatever self-love you have will slowly be eradicated. That is for sure. The problem with letting yourself go downward and downward and downward to amend to their inability to meet you, even halfway, is that every time you do that, it's harder to believe that more or average, regular, healthy, normal is even possible. So practicing poorly is not going to help your game. I told y'all, when I play golf and I start hitting balls the wrong way, I stop right away. I don't go out there and hit 200 balls in a row. I don't do that. I might take forever to hit 50 balls, maybe 45 minutes. really targeted, really take my time, practice target hitting, want to make sure it goes where my mind sees it going. And if it doesn't, I take a little break, kind of reset myself. I do not want to practice mistakes and ingrain them in my system. Thank you so much for this. Anybody else have a question that you'd like me to answer? Let me see. How long normally does it take a person to fall in love? Wow, you can fall in love in a second. If you're waiting for them to fall in love with you, that's probably what the question is. Some people can be very stubborn. Some people can be very controlling. They're there, they're sleeping with you, they're committed to you, they're giving you the title, but they're going to really take their time because they're terrified. Or they're just overly cautious, well, because they're terrified. And I have known, there are people I've known that have said that they have taken about a year to really let go fully. But if you are writing me because you're in a situation where you've given somebody time and they're not coming through, you really have to be honest with it. Are they incrementally getting closer to you? Day in and day out, do you see more connection? Are you seeing more together time, more effort on their part? Or are you seeing the same pattern repeatedly? If they're not making incremental changes forward to have a greater, deeper, more meaningful connection, to prioritize you more in their life, you already have the answer. And waiting around is not going to make them fall in love with you. Let's see what we have here. Oh, this is, hi, Elsa, how are you doing? $5. Thank you, my dear. That's so cute. I love seeing the picture of you too. Thank you. Elsa, do you have a question for us? I'm going to look here just in case I see it. Sometimes you can't write them in the same location, and maybe my mods will help me find this. Older chatters will remember this song, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You can't lose something that you never really had. I remember that. That's right. Very good. There's no point in hurting yourself when you are, when I don't lose your value. The other person is not willing to make a move. We have to do it ourselves. We can't change people. It's crystal clear. Okay, so Elsa, thank you very much. This is the first time I've seen you here. Welcome to our little family here. Brian says, my ex-lover unblocked me when I told her to block me if there was no chance to get back together, or is she simply moving on? Will my ex-lover unblock me? Will she ever unblock you? When I told her to block me if there was no chance, I don't know. I wish I could, I'm not a mind reader. I can only tell you human nature. And so if you've broken up, Brian, Union, if you've broken up and you said block me, maybe you did that for yourself. But if you said block me, and now you're turning around and waiting for her to unblock you, you weren't ready to go to block me. It might have been the right move to make. So your head told you to do one thing and your heart is not in sync. She won't come back until you're in sync. Why should she come back? You're already waiting there, waiting for her to unblock you. You haven't moved on, so she doesn't feel the gap. She doesn't feel that she's lost you because in truth she hasn't. You're just waiting for her to unblock you. So that's an ego game. That's a push, waiting for another response. That's like waiting for water to boil. You might get something if you actually do move forward. In earnest, meet somebody else. In earnest, really like somebody. That's when she'll come back, just to confuse you. Let's see. Elsa. Okay. No, I have no question, but I'm listening to your wise advice. Need all the help I can get. Elsa, this is great. We're happy to have you here. These are wonderful people. I don't know what happened. Elsa, you're in the right place. Help is here. Thank you. Why would someone say something to you, but then say they said it for themselves? Don't know what that's all about. Mystic magnification. Do not understand that. Don't know. It's a little too vague. If you can be more specific, maybe we can get here. Okay? Eva, hi, Susan. I'm seeing someone who's married. I wasn't expecting that much attraction from him, and now I'm stuck. What should I do? He also has feelings for me, but this is so hard. Well, you know that one. It's collateral damage. You're not going to get out of that without damage. He's not going to get out of that. He's probably comfortable with it. I don't know if you've acted on it yet, but understand you're walking into a burning house. If you are a professional fireman, you might know what to do, but I'm guessing you're not. Okay, part of me understands this is a construct that we make, to keep society together. And the other part of me understands that somebody might have a family with this person and that he might go home and have a loving relationship with somebody else and be able to categorize this unless he's in an open relationship and you've heard it from the partner. I wouldn't. If you're uncomfortable now, thank you for that honest admission. But if you're uncomfortable now, write us back 3 months after you've been sexual with this person and let us know how comfortable you are with the situation. No matter how you move forward, even if you move forward, it's going to be a mess. Natalia, hello, my dear, $5. How would you know if you are ready for a relationship again? Okay, that's a good question. I feel like my heart is permanently closed to another. I make excuses not to be involved. All right. Well, do you want to be involved? I mean, don't think you have to. Single by choice is a valid position. You're gorgeous. We know you have men around you all the time. We know that you also have problems with them. And I don't know if maybe one day think about doing a session with me. Maybe we can really get to the bottom of this. When somebody is really attractive and they're always having people around them, but they're not satisfied with those people, I'm not sure when they tell me that there might be something wrong, that they want a relationship, but they don't. Something is definitely off in the thinking through process. It could be that you have not found a construct of relationship formula that actually works for you. It could be that your filtration system is off and that what you want in your mind has not been clarified enough so that the people coming in are going to satisfy those parameters. For you, I think especially remembering a lot of our conversations here, you've got to look for a fine, ethical gentleman that treats you with respect. Sometimes exceedingly beautiful women, men can treat them really, really well or horribly. And the ones who treat you horribly or make you feel insecure are doing it for a power control because they figure, God, she's way out of my league. Everybody's sucking up to her. I've got to treat her with a little bit of deference. Like, I'll be cool to her. I'll make her not know where she stands because girls like the bad boy. So they might have been told that. Remember, at the same time that you're here with me, a lot of people that you're talking about, not all of them, some have no interest in relationships. They're just creating chaos in your life. Others are listening to other channels that are teaching them how to play games, psychological maneuvering, how to get them to do what you want. So there's a lot of ego and game going on here at the same time. We're never required to have a relationship. You can have a completely fulfilled, loving life. You and your parrot, whatever, it doesn't matter. You and your family, it doesn't matter. If you want a relationship and you don't see what you want, I would go back to the drawing board and really, really, really get clear. And that doesn't mean give a physical description of the person you want. It means get clear on what you want to experience feeling-wise in a relationship. Let go of everything. Let go of how tall they are. Let go of how rich they are. I mean, first of all, if you need to have that, you might want to say, I need a professional. If you come from taking care of people, if you've been the breadwinner, if you've been the healer, the fixer, you clearly do need to add, I need somebody who's self-sustaining. And I can't do two jobs. I can't do my job, can't live my life, can't make my career, make my money, and take care of you. But get really, really clear on what it is, because that way anybody that comes into your life and they don't match that, you will already be attuned and aware to, like, you might be attracted to them. They might be the look that you want. But remember, just because we see the shell that we really want, you know how much work it is to try and cram the character qualities that we want into that shell. We love the look, just our type. And they like us, but they like this. Got no idea what to do with the rest of us. And once they taste this, maybe they don't want it again because they don't want anything a second time or a fourth time. I don't know. But really reassess how you want to feel and sit in it and really think about it. Let go of a lot of things, age, color, let go of gender if you're open to that. Just let it all go and get really clear on, universe, show me this person. Bring them to my, and give me the wisdom to see when they're standing in front of me. Something I didn't anticipate. Could be right there. Let's see what we've got going on here. Anya, do you think serial monogamy can be a red flag? No, I don't. I've done serial monogamy. I don't think it's a red flag. It seems to be the new normal due to lack of skills to be in a one and or lack of no, I don't. There are people, okay, not everybody wants forever. Now, if you have met people who do serial monogamy, here's what we know. They're capable of being faithful. So you can put your head on the pillow at night, and if you're not with them on a Friday night and they tell you they're out with the boys or they tell you they're out with the girls, you can relax. That's worth a lot. And it means that when they're with you, they're committed. The second question, if you want a forever relationship, is to realize that maybe they're not meeting their ultimate match. They gave it a good, healthy shot. Maybe the person they were with failed them. Maybe in my case, I got to the end and I hit the bottom of the well and I'm like, damn, there's no more. There's nothing after this. There's this, this, and this. There are no other gears, no other buttons, no other options. It stops here. There's no potential for me to keep growing. I got to like what this is, and it's no more than that. It will never be more than that because I see a lot of things. This is earlier in my life. I'd see a lot of qualities I liked and so much matched. But as I kept growing as an individual, my partner did not keep sync with me. I'm sorry, I've got a Nika hair someplace in my nose. So forgive me. God, I've got Nika hairs everywhere. You little beast. She's over there lying like this. You know, the way they lie like that. Yes, I'm talking about you. Okay, so I wouldn't hold it against a serial monogamist. I'd rather somebody had been in a monogamous relationship and want to date me. They've got a track record of making it go. But you have to ask them, are you of a mindset to want a relationship that lasts longer than 2, 4, 7 years? Have you been looking for your forever person? Do you even believe in that? Because if you believe in a forever person and they're like, I stay in it as long as it's good, then you're like, love the fact that you do monogamy, but that might be a ride I don't want to start and have to get off of. So that would be my criterion for that. Natalia, okay, Natalia, B, whatever, let's see. The problem is, even though it's still the beginning, I don't know, I'm catching a conversation late here. Insia, I know you. I know who you are. I love this. You are so right. When they treat you badly, it's a power move to gain the upper hand and often break your confidence to make themselves feel in control. And in your situation, which is so unbelievable, you have to have somebody who can meet you face to face and show up to be in a relationship. Listen, y'all, nobody has the right to reserve your heart. This is not a dinner reservation. This is your heart. Because when they reserve your heart, keep adding just a few crumbs to lead you on and don't move on it, just hold you. Listen, I had a German lady in town. God bless the German ladies. You know, she wanted to go to a vegan restaurant. I know, Gwyneth, you're going to like this, and B, you're going to laugh at me. But out of all of New York, she wanted to go to a vegan restaurant that recycles and does this and that and gives X amount of profit to charity. She read about it in a German paper. I'm like, oh God, what do I have to sit through? I'm thinking, oh my Lord, what am I going to do? The meal was fabulous. Oh my God, it was fabulous. So why am I telling you this? Fuck, I hate it when I do this. I was going somewhere. I hate talking girl. I should only be talking guy. What am I talking about? What were we talking about here? Oh, I hate it when I do this. Damn it. This had to do with something with the control. Don't let me do that again. B, Gwyneth, you have to start putting in big exclamation marks. This had to do with something or other. Anyway, I'll find it by the end of the show. It's the second time I've done this. You can tell me when I've been sleeping too little. So we have to be exceedingly clear about what we want. And in a case like this with the power control and the manipulation, I know what's going on with this situation. Oh, so we don't let people, oh, okay, thank you, God. All right, Susan's back. This vegan restaurant with all of like 10 seats in it made me put down my credit card to reserve my table. And they're going to charge me if I don't show up. And I can't be 10 minutes late. This little vegan restaurant can't be 10 minutes late. Going to charge my credit card $30 per reservation for 2 people if I'm late. Never had that before. Now I know where I was going with this. Nobody gets to reserve your heart. That vegan restaurant was going to charge me if I didn't show up. We should start charging people too. If you want to reserve me, there'll be a charge per day to keep me around, to keep me interested, and you fix the fee that works for you. Oh, thank you that I got that. $5. Mystic Manifestation. Can we get a whole video about letting go, acceptance versus control? I'm interested in how you tie in gender and sexual orientation into letting it all go. It has nothing to do with that. Letting go is a human thing. It doesn't matter. Nothing. There's no, I personally don't think there's any difference. Acceptance means you've tried everything. If you can't accept it, it means that you're still holding hope that there's one more door. But you have to at some point say to yourself, how many doors am I going to pray for? I'm on number 57. Am I really going to hope that number 50 is the door that's going to make a breakthrough because I'm bloody exhausted? We can't do it to ourselves. Why are you giving that one person so many opportunities to fail you? When you can walk away, and again, you don't go because of fear, because you fear that whatever is out there might not have anything. So you're afraid to let go of the one you got, no matter how bad it is, because you're afraid that you may roll the dice and not find anything in the future. And what if you didn't? Let's take the worst case scenario. What if you date and you're online and you're like, oh my God, I can't even find anybody. I thought this was bad before. I didn't like that one. They treated me terribly, but at least I had a warm body once a month. Now I got nothing. Then you have to make peace with it. Maybe it's okay. And then when you're finally relaxed is when it all changes. I hope that answers it for you. Let's see. About letting go. I just want to say that I love your videos. Hi, Slug. They really have impacted on how I see things on myself and others. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Yes, Insia, vegan food can be amazing, but when my friend first told me, I thought, oh my God, what a labor of love, because I didn't know what they were going to give me. And it was so wonderful. I'm telling you, we had a chicken pot pie that I thought it was like, I can't believe it's not chicken, but it was really good. It was really, really amazing. Just loved it. And I would go back again. So I learned something. See, how is that any different than me being closed to a certain type of person? I just assumed I wasn't going to like them. I just assumed that's not for me. It's all, whatever kind of people that I don't want to be with. This is New York City. I'm thinking all this stuff that she wants to see something New Yorkish and fancy and slick and modern and hip. And she wanted to do something that was ethically sound. That made her happy. And then she was so happy when I told her that I was resistant. but I tried it and it was really good. And I was surprised because I've gone to other places where I've gone, oh my God, I had to go home and eat again. But this was really lovely. So we all have to once in a while challenge our limitations on what we think we're going to like and what we actually might like. Because sometimes we're very certain, oh, I've dated artists, I'm not dating an artist again. Oh, I won't date a lawyer. I won't do this or I won't date that. Oh, I won't date anybody younger. I got burned once. Oh, I won't date anybody older. You know, maybe that one person will be the exception. What do we have here? Ability to enjoy your own company is one of the best gifts. I agree. When you find the right person, ask anyone you know when they found their mate, somebody in a really good relationship. I will tell you this. They weren't stressed. They weren't, boy crazy. They weren't girl crazy. They weren't depressed, freaking out, needy. They probably were like, I just let go. I just started talking. I mean, I'd given up and I just started talking to this guy and we were shooting darts and he was funny. And I went to my brother's wedding and I met this girl and she was just kind of fun and she was dancing and I was dancing with her and not exactly my type, but she was funny. And then I found myself wanting to talk to her and I spent the rest of the night hanging out. And then we got to be, the more I looked at her, the prettier she got. And then she was more interesting. And, they'll tell you stories like this. But to be relaxed and centered is the best place to be vibrationally, to create a great connection, because you will attract the energy that you have at that moment in time. So oftentimes when people have been together for a very long time, where they met vibrationally, who they were, was one person. And through time, life changes you and life events change you. And if you and your partner are not walking in tandem and able to grow and come back together, come apart and grow and come back together, there can be a disruption, right? So the same is true with when you're attracting a person. If you are relaxed and calm and liking yourself, you will be attracting a much different person than if you're desperate, needy, and hopeful yet filled with, it's probably not going to happen. I met a girl socially last night, hot, hot, hot as embers, burning. I mean, just hot. You couldn't not notice her, and cute, and sweet, and probably a very nice girl. But she kept grabbing onto me at this event and saying, can you get me a guy? Can you get me a guy? I want to get a guy. And I'm not, I don't just like, oh, I don't have a magic wand. And I said, I'm not a matchmaker. But she was so crazy about it that the hysteria of the conversation was so convoluted that I realized after 15 minutes, I'm like, my God, I would run away from her too. And she's lovely. But you must be centered and grounded, or the nicest person can go, God, I need a break. Because it's a lot to take on somebody's chaos and drama. And this, I'm certain, is a very nice girl. But I cannot afford to have those kinds of connections. If somebody wants to befriend me just so they can get free information, this is never going to happen. And somebody who's not grounded, that's totally different. So you can see how you can be absolutely stunning, absolutely a good person. But if you're not resonating from the right place, it's a turnoff to everybody who watches you and who involves themselves with you. And now we have two super. Hi, Brian. Whoa, look at this. I love this. It's hard to leave when you invest all into a relationship. You're all in. Then when it comes to crashing down, only then do you find out after it's ended that they weren't honest with you. How not to attract these traits. Look, you gave it a shot. We don't know that this is a pattern. If you've done this 10 times in a row, we got a real issue. Well, 3 times in a row. I know that's sad, but many people misrepresent themselves. And I don't know how long this was, Brian, for you before you came to this realization. But what oftentimes is people put their best foot forward. We've talked about this over and over again. You all ask me, Susan, is there a way to know from the beginning? No. These videos and all this stuff is a way to fill your reservoir of information so that it's in your data bank, so that when you're seeing somebody and talking to them, you can maybe get tipped off to certain things earlier rather than later. They can accumulate and you can start to rack up. I'm not sure this is going to be good for me. I'm seeing inconsistencies. But Brian, in your case, you must have had enough red flags that you, because I know you're very, very well educated in all of this, you must have had enough red flags that you believed them. And let's entertain this possibility. Maybe it's completely without merit, but maybe in the moment they were there. Maybe what you were reading in all of your data collection was that they felt that then. Sustainability, consistency is a whole nother skill set. Not everybody can do that, and you can't have a relationship if it's inconsistent. People are whimsical. They fall in love. They take the ride of the dopamine, the testosterone, and all these good chemicals. And when they suddenly don't feel it after month 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they're like, oh, I must be in the wrong place. Let's reboot the whole experience. So I don't know where you were caught in that cycle, but I find it hard to believe that you walked into something that was negative and kept going. But I do think that for those individuals that have gone all in and really challenged themselves in this time period to let go and go all in, that's actually very, esteemable, I think. It's admirable because so many people are so afraid and they close their heart or never let themselves get involved. So congratulations, you took the ride. It let you off in a place you didn't anticipate. You didn't see it coming. It could be possible that your partner didn't see it coming. But was the ride good? Did you feel alive? Did you know that you can love and you can love again? Maybe not tomorrow or the next day, but we have to keep the good stuff. You might have had a great 6 months, 3 months, I don't know. That's something. We're always testing to see if it's going to keep going. We don't know that any of these will. Skyrider, Joey, $10. Thank you, my dear. I cut off my ex after trying to be friends because it wasn't enough. Made progress, but still really miss and resent him for choosing someone else over me, although I wanted to try again. Help. Perfect conversation for you. You need to turn around and keep moving forward. Your ex made a clear decision that they wanted somebody else. I'm terribly sorry about that. But you tried to keep contact as a friend. Come on, you never wanted to be a friend. And being friend zoned after you've broken up, after you've been lovers, that's not going to make them come back. Oh, you can keep tabs on them. You can keep trying to hope that, if I talk to them, they're going to remember how good it is. But they don't remember how good it is when you're there. They remember how good it is when you're not there anymore. That's when they start to miss you. My suggestion to you would be keep going. I know you're saying help, but I'm giving you directions. The help you need is to continue to move forward and let it go. Draw a line in the sand. That was then. Remember, you always have the option in the future, way future, if your partner comes running double time and stands in front of you and goes, me, I made a mistake, me, you can reassess whether they've actually learned and changed, but not before then, because they haven't. So we can save a lot of time and maybe find you the love of your life. Okay? Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate that. Let me see. I see there's more here. I don't want to miss anybody. Oh my goodness. All right. Now we have $20. Thank you. Anne, how are you doing today? Aloha, Anne. It's been a while since I've been able to join. Always lovely to hear your insights. Mahalo. Thank you, Anne. Love this. Maybe you want to be in one of our group sessions one day. Oh my goodness, that'd be fun if I get to know you even better. I really, really, really do appreciate it. Thank you and mahalo to you. I love this, that everybody is joining in today. Brian Pablo, Susan, you're the best. This is why I'm here. Thank you. I love your work always. Natalia, thank you, my darling. $5. In my dating history, most men I've dated were gay. What? Were gay, and I've helped them accept that part of themselves. Okay, that's a nice social service. What would be the reason I date gay men? Well, they're fucking gorgeous. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. They dress well. They're smart. They're cultured. I heard the most incredible thing. Yeah, I'm not going to say who he was. He's a fairly famous photographer who happens to be gay. And he described it in a way I'd never heard before. He said, in gym class, we have to run faster than anybody else, or they're going to make fun of us and expect us to be what they think we are. He said, in business, we got to be 10 times smarter. Because if we make a mistake, we got to still fall high. We got to be better at everything. Smarter, faster, richer, more successful, more cultured, more educated, more intelligent, more aware. We got to know everything because they're coming after us at all times. So a new friend of mine and his husband just moved into a place in Long Island, and he was really worried about living in the suburbs. And I said, oh, don't worry, they're going to love you because they know the neighborhood's going to go up. And of course, friends came over. Oh, we're so happy to have you here. Oh my God, how are you guys going to decorate the house? So there are stereotypes, but they're all good. The gay men in New York are gorgeous. Why would you not fall for one of them? And they're in transition. So let's just take it back a notch. That might be why some things didn't turn out, okay? And interesting that you're meeting somebody that are on the fence. So I would imagine that you have a certain physical type. Now you got a lot of that in your energy system, Natalia. You got to kind of reroute yourself. Look for a guy with a baseball cap and kind of dirty sneakers. You can't be always looking at these, buff, beautifully coiffed and dressed guys, because that might be a sign. Guys that look like that, we pretty much look at them and go, okay, you're the unicorn or you're gay, or you could be European. It's hard to tell. So it's all going to be good. Okay, let me go back. I don't want to miss anyone. Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want to miss anyone. Let's see. Okay, we did all of this. Thank you for your super chats. Do love them. And Anne, thank you so much. Natalia, okay, we got this. Skywriter Joey, thanks, Susan. Guess I just have to deal with the pain. Meanwhile, do it once, do it for all. A clean cut is the kindest, even for yourself. If you need it, Joey, what you do is you tell yourself in one sentence, 2 maximum, every reason you deserve to be happy, and this person failed the design. They didn't see you. Whatever you've got, whatever is special, they did not have the eyes to see you. Doesn't mean they're bad or horrible. They just couldn't see you. And it's like looking at your reflection in a dirty mirror or distorted mirror. That's not who you really are, but they can't see you. Find somebody who sees you, and appreciates what they see. That's the best advice I can give you. Zaza, I haven't heard from you in ages. 10 euros. How are you doing? I, 29 female, have a university degree, and he, 28, has just high school. Okay, all right. He is such a beautiful person, but I'm afraid it won't work. How to tell him this and stop the relationship without hurting? Why are you stopping it now? Do you need to have children? He's certainly capable of doing that. Is there a huge economic disparity that comes with this? A lot of guys that have a high school education end up having very good union jobs. I don't know. Does he fulfill you in ways other than sexual? Is he somebody who's devoted to you and cares for you and loves you? I'm not trying to suggest that you compromise financial security. I'm not asking that you be the breadwinner, but I would ask you why you've already determined that it doesn't work simply based on diplomas. Is he intelligent? Can he keep you mentally stimulated? Is that what you need a man to do? We have to realize what we look for in mates is we're looking for everything. And at some point, we have to be realistic. We're not going to get everything. We need the main things. I'm not going to, you've got to figure out to pick and choose through your dating history, your buffet of people. What is the most important thing I need to have? Do I need to have somebody kind and good who's trustworthy and keeps me intellectually stimulated? Because I know that's my thing. Do I need somebody who's sporty and exercises with me because I'm a bodybuilder and I have to have that? And if you're a couch potato, eventually we're going to have problems. What are the main things that keep you together? And at 29, why are you thinking you now have to cut this off? Is this the best relationship you've had so far? It might be. I don't know. We don't have enough information on this. If something's good, sometimes it's worth riding it out. And my friend is 56 with a 27-year-old guy who adores her, would probably die for her, and has 2 jobs and is so motivated now to be more, earn more, because he wants her to be proud of him and he wants to develop himself. He never had that desire before. So I don't know, Zaza, that's what you need to do, or Jaja. So forgive me if I'm saying it improperly, but I'm not sure that that's the choice you need to make. If you need to tell them you're sorry, you better have a very good reason, because right now, maybe that's not enough of a reason. I don't know. I need more information here. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Okay, anybody else? There was, census, €5. Hi, Susan. How do you avoid putting someone on a pedestal when you really love them? Love your holistic approach to dating and relationships. Thank you very much. I love it. I don't think I've heard that one before. Thank you. It is natural to want to admire our partner. The question we need to ask ourselves, this is in Breakup Triage, as a matter of fact, the qualities that I'm attributing to them, am I gifting them to that person? Because they pulled out the chair for me, do I think straight across the board they're polite? Because they were good to their grandma, do I figure they're a loving person? Because they have a dog, do I assume they're going to be good to me? There's nothing wrong with admiring this person, but if we are not seeing them in reality, like they can be incredibly successful and you admire them for that. They could also have 0 skills when it comes to communicating with you, have no empathy, and have no desire to want to sort things out. Like if you're difficult, meaning you express an emotion and they may have to think twice or change a little bit or consider your opinion, that's too difficult, then whatever you admire them for, you can't admire them in the relationship. So there's admire the qualities, successes, accomplishments they have. And then there's admire their skill set for being a partner. That's what's important. I think all of us females, and maybe guys too, I don't know, you have to tell me, but I know for myself, the minute I can't admire you as a man, that you do something that really is difficult for me to square in my mind, starts to die down for me. The affection, because I'm not saying don't be human, because humans make mistakes and humans do stupid things, myself included, and we are less than perfect, and sometimes we don't care to be our best selves, and other times, we don't know how to be our best selves. I get that. But I think the distinction is, do you admire who they are in the world, or can you admire who they are with you? And then that's how you determine whether you keep them in your life. Not necessarily on a pedestal, but you don't have to keep anybody on a pedestal. If they're on a pedestal, you'll always be bowing down beneath them. So let's see, what else do we have? Oh, Nika's dog walker is late. Pretty soon we're going to hear, bow, wow, wow, wow. She's going to wake up, I can tell. Gnarly cat. Let's see. Anybody else? Okay. Anybody else have any? I don't want to miss any of the super chats. I think we're going to have to end for the day today. I do thank all of you. So I hope that I've answered your questions. There will be a natural difference between what our heart wants to do and what our mind tells us to do. We want to try to integrate the two. We want to have a healthy balance. Part of love means you temporarily go blind to the person's weaknesses. That's the initial part. That's why we have to be careful in the beginning. We see them only on a pedestal. Most of this reverence and this gaga happens in the honeymoon phase because we don't know them. So for those of you who have suffered because you tasted somebody that got ripped from your mouth, that's a true agony. You're not given credit for it in the world. And I really contest that because you've bought into your own dream and given them those credits that they don't really deserve. But you were in a very difficult place because you saw them as perfect. And then when they fail you, it seems like it's your fault. So thank you, everybody, for this. I hope this tells you that there is a constant assessment, and you have to go through sometimes in order to leave a person to satisfy the mental part. You have to go through a few turns of leaving no stone unturned, as they would say, and you have to remove any confusion to make sure that you never wonder what if. However, if there is physical abuse, all of that goes by the wayside. You leave, period. Get help and then sort out your next step, okay? So for those of you who are in my November class, I'm loving it. I have 15 incredible people. For those of you who want a private, they are still available. I do a couple a week, but I'm moving people into groups. And the next group class starts in January, and that is more oriented toward my Europeans and people abroad, and for people who are remote workers in the US. I try and change around the time frames so that everybody can have a shot at this. And they are recorded. It's twice a week for 60 to 90 minutes. It's how to make love work for you. We discover all the most essential pillars of how to really stop working so hard at this and let it work for you. But we tune up your communication, we tune up your design and what you want. We tune up, we get rid of those fears. If we don't unlock your fear around loving, you will always be paralyzed. And if we don't have you knowing what you want, you will take what they give you and try and make yourself okay with it, which a lot of the communication here is that you're not okay with it. So it's basically awesome empowerment on every level. So if you're interested in a free diagnostic consultation for where you are, the link is below, how to make love work for you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, members, my YouTube family members here. I know, I've been so busy. Brian, oh my goodness. Gnarly Cat, I know that I've been offering a Zoom. I was crazy busy. Okay, I think it's Nika's Walker. We're going to get one. I'd rather do it when I'm in Arizona in the next 2 weeks, but I'll be getting back to you guys. I promise you. It's been a lot to throw together this class and all the things I had to do and the change for it. But thank you, all of you channel members. Thank you, people who've written me with video requests. If you have a video request, send it in to susanwinter.net. Go to susanwinter.net to work with me personally. There are multiple ways you can do it, and I'm still in Manhattan. Come see me, work with me in person, 3 hours. I'll take you to a very exclusive private club. We'll have a lovely lunch, and we will sort you out. Okay, everybody, thank you, and I will see you next week. I will not be here Thursday, November 24th. Nika and I are flying back to Arizona. Okay, everyone, thank you. Thank you, and thank you, B and Gwyneth. Gwyneth, happy belated. My very best to all of you. Love, be well. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you, Super Chatters.